Oxygen is a more electronegative element, so it carries partial negative charge. Hydrogen carries partial positive charge. All hydrogens carries partial positive charge. Also, we can call it is a kind of ionic sorry, dipole interaction. But however, here hydrogen atom is involving. That's what we are saying, hydrogen bonding. So it happens only between hydrogen atom and a high electronegative element like oxygen, nitrogen, fluorine only. These three elements only involving in hydrogen bond. Not chlorine. Chlorine rare, very rare cases we are saying hydrogen bonding in chlorine atom. The definition is the interaction between the high electronegative element and hydrogen atom that also must be attached to another high electronegative element. So here high electronegative element oxygen and hydrogen atom. This hydrogen also must be attached to another electronegative element. So between hydrogen and hydrogen is not hydrogen bonding. Hydrogen and high electronegative element. This. So water in water molecule maximum in H2O molecule maximum 4 hydrogen bonds are possible that we are observing in ice. In HF hydrogen bond possible, H2O, NH3. And some organic molecules. Orthonitrophenol hydrogen bond possible. These hydrogen bonds are again two types: intermolecular hydrogen bonding, intramolecular hydrogen bonding. So this is intramolecular. Within the molecule only hydrogen bond exists. That's what called intramolecular hydrogen bonding. So this is one water molecule, another water molecule. So between the molecules of same substance or different substances, that's called intermolecular hydrogen bonding. Okay. The next topic, gas laws. First one is Boyle's law. Statement is, at constant temperature, the volume of given mass of a gas is inversely proportional to pressure. At constant temperature, T is constant here. Volume of given mass of a gas, volume, inversely proportional to pressure. So V is inversely proportional to P. So we may write V is equal to K or C, any constant we may introduce. Sorry, C by P. PV is equal to constant. This is Boyle's law. And suppose initial volume of a gas is V1. And pressure P1 at constant temperature. Now pressure is changed to P2, means either increase or decrease. Pressure is changed to P2. Then volume also changes to V2. This initial volume V1, final pressure P1. Because of bringing some change in pressure. Volume of change happens in volume also. This is the final volume. Now relation is P1 V1 is equal to P2 V2. Okay, now frequently asking graphs from this topic. So in 12th standard, how chemical kinetics is important in case of graphs. States of matter also same thing, frequently asking graphs. See pressure versus volume graph. Volume, air pressure. So this is the line. With increase of pressure, volume of a gas decreases. If suppose this is a particular temperature T1, that T2, this is at T3. So what is the relationship between T1, T2 and T3? Suppose T4 also there. This is another line. Now with the relationship. So which is bigger, which is smaller temperature, that means. In case of pressure volume graph, here T4 is bigger one. T4 greater than, T3 greater than, T2 greater than T1. So if you want to draw these all graphs, PV graph, this is the graph. So at constant temperature. So if you want, I'll explain with some taking values. Suppose volume is 100 ml. Pressure is 1 atmosphere. Now pressure is 2 atmosphere. Then volume becomes half. It becomes only 500 ml. Further pressure is doubled. 4 atmosphere. Then volume becomes 250 ml. Further increase it to 8 atmosphere. 1000 by 8. Half of this value. 1, 2, 5. No. But right. PV value. P into V is equal to constant only always. P into 1000 into 1, 1000. 500 into 2, still 1000. 250 into 4, 1000. 125 into 8, also 1000. So always PV value constant. So here we can see. Suppose this initial volume is here. 1 atmospheric pressure is the volume. If pressure became 2 atmosphere, volume becomes half. So next graph is P versus PV graph. Just straight line. See here, PV values not changes. Next, 1 by V. gives a straight line passing through origin. Note down these three graphs. Okay, then next graphs. PV graphs only, but at different temperatures. This is a T1, T1, this is a T2, T3, T4. So now relation is between these temperatures. T4 greater than T3 greater than T2 greater than T1. Actually, volume and temperatures, these are directly proportional. With increase of temperature, volume of a gas also increases. That's what this line showing at higher volume means it having high temperature. Even to this also, we can give at different temperatures. PV, P, this is a T1, this is a T2. Here also T2 greater than T1. One by V and P. T1, T2, T3, T4. Here also same relation. T4 greater than T3 greater than T2 greater than T1. Next one, Charles law. So Boyle's law, just note down these two formulas. PV is equal to constant. Another one, P1 V1 equal to P2 V2. These two formulas. Charles law, it is at a constant pressure. Might have totally three definitions. Carefully listen. First one is at constant pressure, the given volume of the volume of given mass of a gas either decreases or increases for every 1 degree centigrade rise of temperature to its initial volume. So through this definition only, Kelvin scale was defined. So that means Vt is equal to V0 plus V0 by 273 to Vt. Not at Vt, just T, not Vt, T. So for every temperature increases or decreases, the volume also either increases or decreases by 1 by 273 of its initial volume. If temperature increases, 1 by 273 into V0 times increases. If temperature decreases, volume of gas also 1 by 273 into V0 times decreases. So okay, from this only, absolute temperature is defined. The lowest possible temperature, that is 273 minus or just to minus 273 degrees centigrade or 0 Kelvin. So at this temperature, the volume of all gases will becomes 0. Suppose if we take a graph, temperature, this is volume, minus 100, minus 200, minus 300. So if we take any gas, gas 1, second gas, maybe any hydrogen gas, oxygen, any gas we take. This is minus 273. So this is only lowest possible temperature. So before reaching this temperature, all gases will before only liquefies, but at this temperature, volume of a gas will becomes 0. That's only absolute temperature. From this, Kelvin scale was defined. Kelvin scale is equal to 273 plus degree centigrade. So at this lowest possible temperature, minus 273 degrees centigrade or 0 Kelvin, called absolute temperature, or absolute zero. Volume of all the gases becomes zero. So at this temperature, all motions, all molecular motions or atomic motions becomes zero. There is no motion, even vibrational motion also zero. Okay, now we'll see second line, but based on this, not asking any problems. But this temperature is required to solve other problems. Absolute temperature, and which temperature is called absolute zero. Yeah, Charles, at constant pressure, given mass of given volume of gas is directly proportional to temperature. So temperature increases, volume of gas also increases. Suppose initial volume or initial volume V1, initial temperature T1. If temperature is suppose increased to T2, is that a final? So volume also changes to V2. Now relation is actually here relation V by T is equal to constant. Here also relation comes V1 by T1 is equal to V2 by T2. Note down these two formulas. V is directly proportional to T, that is V by T is equal to constant, and this is another formula. Graph volume and temperature. P1, P2, P3, P4. So there, these lines are taken at a constant pressure only. The lines are obtained this. How is the now relationship between P1, P2, P3, P4? Which is smaller one? Which is bigger one?
P1 is greater.
Very good. P1 is greater value because already you know pressure and volume always they are in opposite. I mean inversely proportional. So here pressure is volume is higher means no doubt here pressure is lower value. P4 is smaller one or P1 greater than P2 greater than P3 greater than P4. Okay, next one, Gay-Lussac's law or Hampton's law. So here volume of a gas is constant. Constant volume of gas. Its pressure of gas is directly proportional to temperature. So now we may write P by T is equal to constant. Initial temperature T1 and pressure P1. Its temperature changes to T2, then pressure also changes to P2. Now relation is P1 by T1 is equal to P2 by T2. Pressure, these are volume. V1, V2, V3, V4. Now also relation is between V1, V2, V3, V4. Which is bigger volume? See here pressure and here volume. Higher the pressure, lower the volume. So this becomes, so lower pressure means higher volume here we are using. So V1 is bigger one. V1 greater than V2 greater than V3 greater than V4. Next law is Avogadro's law. So this definition is equal volumes of all the gases equal volumes of all the gases under similar conditions of temperature and pressure having same number of molecules. Okay, see its explanation. Suppose I'm selecting 3 different gases: hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen. But all are taking in same volume. All are taking in 1 liter, 1 liter. This is 1 liter. Volume is 1 liter. This is also same 1 liter. And these all gases are maintaining at pressure also. Suppose same pressure, maintaining 1 atmosphere. Temperature also maintaining. All 3 gases maintaining at same temperature. It is suppose 20 degree or 25 degrees centigrade. So according to Avogadro's law, equal volumes of all the gases all are taking in equal volumes 1 liter. Under similar conditions of temperature and pressure, all gases are maintained at same pressure and temperatures. 1 atmosphere pressure, 25 degrees centigrade temperature. Suppose these hydrogen molecules are 1 lakh molecules are there. Suppose even oxygen also now having 1 lakh molecules. This also having 1 lakh molecules. Suppose this having Avogadro number of particles. Suppose this having Avogadro number 6.023 into 10 power 23. Even this also having same number, same Avogadro number of molecules. This is Avogadro's law. So according to Avogadro's law, volume of a gas is directly proportional to number of moles. So let me write V is equal to K into N. K is constant here. So V by N is equal to constant. And further we may derive N is equal to number of moles, no? So V is equal to K into number of moles. We can write mass by molar mass. So move this side, mass. Molar mass is equal to K into small m by V. So capital M is equal to K into m by V is density. So we may write molar mass of a gas is directly proportional to density, or density of a gas is directly proportional to its molar mass. Since number of moles is equal to mass by molar mass. So conclusion point, density of gas is directly proportional to its molar mass. Okay, let's see small problem. On a ship sailing in Pacific Ocean, where temperature is 23.4 degrees centigrade. A balloon is filled with 2-liter air. What will be the volume of the balloon? What will be the volume of the balloon when the ship reaches Indian Ocean? Where temperature is 26.1 degrees centigrade. So ship is at Pacific Ocean. Their temperature is, that is, we are considering initial temperature. When ship is in Pacific Ocean, that is initial temperature. T1 is equal to 23.4 degrees centigrade. Convert this into kelvins. 273 plus 23.4. And initial volume also. Ship is in Pacific Ocean. Volume of balloon is 2 liters. 2 liters. 273 plus 23.4. 296.4. Now ship reached to Indian Ocean. Here in Indian Ocean temperature is 26.1 degrees centigrade. That is final volume. Sorry, final temperature. T2 is 26.1 degrees centigrade. And 26.1 plus 273. It's 299.1. So now, which relation we have to apply? Four formulas I gave. So which relation we have to apply from this given information? Tejashwini?
So V1 by T1 is equal to V2 by T2.
Good. Apply the formula. V1 by T1 is equal to V2 by T2. So they're asking what is the volume of the balloon when ship reaches to Indian Ocean. So V2 we have to calculate. V2 is equal to V1 into T2 by T1. Substitute. V1 is 2 liter. T2 is 299.1. divided by T1, 296.4. And gives 2.018 liters. Okay, next problem is an open vessel contains 200 milligram of air at 17 degrees centigrade. What weight percentage of air? What weight percent of air would be expelled if the vessel is heated to 117 degrees centigrade? Okay, see this. Suppose open vessel contain 200 milligrams of air, but here volume of gas not given. The mass is given. Mass is 200 milligrams. So it is heated. Initially, it having its temperature of the gas is 17 degrees centigrade. That gas is heated up to 117 degrees centigrade. Then how much amount of gas is expelled from this vessel? That percentage we have to calculate. So for 200 milligrams of air, volume is V. Just consider that V, VML. And we know initial temperature is 17 degrees centigrade. 17 plus 273, 290 Kelvin. And final volume, this is initial volume of V. Final volume is V2 ml. And final temperature. Final temperature T2 is equal to 117 plus 273. 390 Kelvin. So here also we'll apply V1 by T1 equal to V2 by T2. Initial volume is just V by temperature is 290 Kelvin equal to V2 is just V, V2 only. And the T2 is 390. So from this, V2 value is 390 by 290 into V. Value comes 1.34. Gives 1.34. This is V2. See, this is open vessel. Initial volume we consider it is a V at 17 degrees centigrade. If temperature is increased to 117 degrees centigrade, 117 degrees centigrade, its volume became 1.34. Right, 1.34 V. Means how much volume is expelled here? 0.34 volume of a gas is expelled. Volume of gas expelled is equal to 1.34 V minus V equal to 0.34 V. This much volume is expelled. So remaining is in the vessel only. So now we'll convert 200 milligrams of gas is V volume now. Then, sorry. Mass of gas mass of 1.34 V volumes of gas at 117 degrees centigrade is equal to 200 milligrams. Then mass of 0.34 V of gas at 11 degrees centigrade is X. Calculate X. X is equal to 200 into 0.34 divided by 1.34 V. V we cancel. Here X is 50.746 milligrams. So this much mass of gas is expelled out. Then what is its percentage? We are calculating 50.746 divided by 200. It gives percentage into 100. So percentage of gas expelled is 50.746 into 100 divided by 200 milligrams of gas. So it gives percentage of gas expelled 25.37. Next is ideal gas equation. This is also called combined gas law or gas equation. See what is ideal gas. See, gases which obeys all gas laws. Earlier we studied Boyle's law, Charles law, and Avogadro's law. These gases which obeys all gas laws over the entire range of temperature and pressure are called ideal gases. So this is just an imaginary concept, assumption only. No gas follows ideal gas, but at particular conditions only this behavior we are observing, those gases we are calling real gases. So listen once again, what are ideal gases? Gases which obeys all gas laws over the entire range of temperature and pressure called ideal gases. So we'll derive now ideal gas equation. According to Boyle's law, V is inversely proportional to P. According to Charles law, at constant pressure, no, V is directly proportional to T. So according to Avogadro's law, V is directly proportional to N. Now combine these all three equations. So we may write V is directly proportional to NT by P. So PV is directly proportional to NT. So PV is equal to, remove this proportionality, where I'm introducing constant R, NT or NRT we may write. So this is only ideal gas equation. PV is equal to NRT. That is, N is here, P is pressure of a gas, V is volume of a gas, N is number of moles of gas, R is gas constant, it have 4 different values I will write. T is temperature in kelvins. Suppose for 1 mole of ideal gas we are writing just PV is equal to RT only. So here I'm writing R values, all of you note down this. So this R value is not only using in this chapter, other chapter, even in solution chapter 12 standard also we used R value, and chemical kinetics also it's coming now, electrochemistry also. So I'll note down this are four different values are there. One is 8.314 joule Kelvin inverse mole inverse. R is equal to 0.0821 liter atmosphere Kelvin inverse mole inverse. R is equal to 0.083 liter instead of atmosphere here bar Kelvin inverse mole inverse. R is equal to calories instead of joules, calories, Kelvin inverse, mole inverse. See, whenever the formula related to energy, suppose there R value is involved, we are using mostly this 8.314. It's when the formula is involved in energy related. Suppose delta Z is equal to minus, not here. Thermodynamics, we are using this. R value we are using in thermodynamics, they are related to energy. And in osmotic pressure, that is involved in liter or atmosphere. In such cases, we are using this value. Okay, next, density pressure relation. So that is derived from ideal gas equation only. PV is equal to nRT. PV is equal to, instead of N, number of moles is mass of gas by its molar mass to RT. So move this side, capital M. PM, we move this side, small m by V RT. So instead of M by V, density D. So dRT is equal to PM. D is equal to RT by PM. No, PM by RT, sorry, PM by RT. PM by RT. Okay, here we need to write a combined gas equation or combined gas law. Suppose initial volume of gas is V1 is equal V1, volume V1, pressure P1, temperature T1. Suppose if we bring any change in either temperature, pressure or volume, any one change, if we bring suppose temperature is changed to T2, so then volume changes to V2, pressure also changes to P2, we change the temperature T1 to T2. Now relation is P1 V1 by T1 is equal to P2 V2 by T2. So earlier we gave relation between any two components, either volume or volume and pressure, volume and temperature, or pressure and temperature. Now consider all the three factors: pressure, volume, and temperature. So note down this formula also. Same problem. At 25 degrees centigrade, and 760 mm of Hg pressure, a gas occupies 600 ml volume. 600 ml volume. What will be its pressure? What will be its pressure at a height where temperature is 10 degrees centigrade and volume of the gas is 640 ml. So at temperature 25 degrees centigrade, pressure 760 mm of Hg, gas occupying 600 ml of volume. So this is considered as the initial condition. Volume is 600 ml, pressure is 760 mm of Hg, temperature is 25 degrees centigrade, 25 plus 273, 298 Kelvin. Next, final conditions. Temperature is 10 degrees centigrade and volume of the gas is 640 ml. V2 is 640 ml. Pressure P2 is, we have to calculate. Temperature T2 is 10 degrees centigrade, so 283 Kelvin. Now apply relation. P1 V1 by T1 is equal to P2 V2 by T2. So we want P2 value. So P2 is equal to P1 V1 into T2 divided by T1 into V2. So substitute all the values. P1 is 760 to V1 600 to T2 283 divided by T2 value 283. Sorry, 283. T1. T1 is 298. V2 640. So brother will be 676.6. Another problem, the density of a gas is density of a gas is 3.8 gram per liter at STP. Calculate its density at 27 degrees centigrade and 700 torr pressure. Here density of a gas is given. So okay, density given, and again at different conditions we have to calculate density. In given condition, density D1 will take. D1 is equal to 3.8 gram per liter, and temperature T1 is equal to STP conditions. Temperature is 273 Kelvin. And pressure is okay. In the second condition given torr now, so here also we'll write in torr 760 torr. So 1 torr is equal to 1 mm of Hg only. So here D2 we have to calculate, and T2 is given 27 degrees centigrade. 273 plus 27, 300. P2 is 700 torr. We know density relationship. D is equal to Pm by RT. So we'll take for this one P1. D1 is equal to P1 M. So same gas now. Just we are taking initially same gas, and that gas only For that gas, temperature and pressures only changed. That's what density changes. But its molar mass not changes. We change our temperature, pressure, whatever we do, molar mass and R is constant. These two values not changes. So R T1. To this gas, density D2 is equal to P2M R T2. Now we'll do D1 by D2. D1 by D2 is equal to P1M R by T1 into RT2 by P2M. So R MM is cancelled. Then D1 by D2 is equal to P1 by T1 into T2 by P2. P1 is 760. T1 is 273 Kelvin into T2 300 Kelvin divided by P2 700. D1 by D2 will give. It gives 1.193. But we want D to know. So D2 is equal to D1 by 1.193. D1 value is 3.8. Answer is 3.185. Same units, gram per liter. Okay, so half of concept is completed. Tomorrow we'll see remaining half. And the day after tomorrow, I will explain MCQ questions. Okay, thank you.